What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Awakening World, our Wednesday night edition. I'm Love Coach Scott Thomas. I'm your guide, your host for the show, and we've got a really special show tonight. We've got three extraordinary channels, people that have learned how to access higher wisdom in unique ways, and it's going to be a special show. And I'm really excited because my co-host is my good friend, Alan Steinfeld, the author of the classic, now it's become a classic, Alan, Making Contact, the book all about what's happening out there with our galactic family. And Alan's introducing us to Jessica Herman, coming all the way from Milan, Italy. So we're looking forward to hearing from her. And then we're going to meet Marilyn, who is got a really interesting guide that she brings in. And because it's channeling, we're bringing in one of our absolute favorite channels. Vox is back with us. So welcome back, Vox. It's going to be magnificent. And in a moment, we're going to get things started with an Om Shar song. But before we do that, I want to acknowledge three things about today, of different varieties. 60 years ago, our world changed. I was a 7-year-old on the playground, and all of a sudden, when we came back to class, my teacher was crying because our president had been shot and killed. It was 60 years ago that John F. Kennedy was assassinated. Now, we're not going to make the show about that, but I want to acknowledge it because I believe it was a very big turning point, a very tragic turning point in human history. I want to acknowledge that anniversary. But on a more positive note, today is International Peace Pole Day. And you've probably seen these peace poles all over the world. I'm very blessed to have one. And the founder of the Peace Pole movement, today was his birthday. He would have been 107 if he was still with us. And so I just want to acknowledge that beautiful man and this beautiful movement of peace poles from all over the world. And on the spirit of peace, my final announcement that I wanted to kind of get us started with, many of you know our beloved Chief Phil Lane. He's been on the show many, many times. And of course, the Twin Ray, who's also been on the show many times. Well, Chief Phil and the Twin Ray and several other indigenous elders gathered 3 weeks ago to commence with the 8th lighting of the fire. It's a prophecy that has gone on for decades, that when the 8th fire is lit at the right time with the right people, it gets us started on a whole new wave of peace. And Shekinah sent me this photo of the lighting of the fire. And if you look closely at it, do you see the phoenix rising from the fire? Isn't that extraordinary? Isn't that amazing? And so Shekinah Ma suggested that we all take a minute just to look at this photo, to tap into the connection to this moment in time when we're all seeking hope, we're seeking inspiration. The world and what's happening in the world is pretty crazy and pretty scary. But this is a moment of hope to remind us that from the fire, the phoenix will rise, as the prophecy of our indigenous elders have been telling us for some time.
You know, Scott, it looks like the wings of Isis actually coming out of that fire.
Yeah. The wings of Isis, Quetzalcoatl is another way you could look at it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put that image behind me instead of Global Peace Tribe for the rest of the night. So it's kind of, we're bringing that energy in with us. And to get the energy going, we always want to start with music from my co-pilot, our very own Omoshar. Welcome, brother.
Hi. Here we go. We'll see the truth revealed. The love in your hearts will lift you up, and I'll come along and fill your cup. I am you, though we seem to come from different skies. And what is true is a love that shines right through your eyes. Yes, we are here and now, and it's time to leave the past behind. So take me by the hand, let us walk across this sacred land. And remember, you're always divinely connected. Our spirits, our bodies are being resurrected. The love in your hearts will lift you up, and I'll come along and fill your cup. I am you, though we seem to come from different sides.
That's All Twinkle, our beloved Omashar. I love that song. And it is true. We are all just one amazing, magnificent experience of life. Thank you, Omashar. Thank you. Thank you. And Omashar will be back with one or two more songs. It's going to be a good Omashar night. Every night's a good Omashar night, really. All right. So, channeling. Way back when, in 1986, my girlfriend at the time, Catherine Rydell, was hired by Bantam Books to write a book called The Complete Guide to Channeling. She got a really big advance, and we got an RV, and we traveled all over the world, all over the country, seeing all of the significant channels at the time. We met with J.Z. Knight and Ramtha and Sanaya Roman, Ken Carey, the major channels of that era. And so I've been around this for a long time. And then in the 90s, I was booking psychics and channels for a show called The Other Side. It was a daytime talk show on NBC, and then led to other gigs for national broadcast shows where I was bringing different psychics and channels that I knew. So this is a field I've been in for a long, long time. And probably the only other person who's been in it as long as me is my co-host, Alan Steinfeld. And so, Alan, what's your history with the channeling?
Well, channeling got me into this whole spiritual movement. I was coming from a psychological background, and this friend of mine from college, like 1981, said, hey, you want to see this woman bring through this Atlantean warrior who's 35,000 years old? And I said, well, three things. She must be crazy, or she's a great actress, or maybe there's something happening here. So I just went on like a 1% maybe. And then Ramtha calls on me. I'm sitting in the back of the room, and he says to me, what say you, beloved entity? How be you this day in your time? And I said, what? I said, you're talking to me? And it's like at that moment, reality shifted. It was like the walls became kind of like mushy, and the atmosphere kind of became misty, and I had a shift in consciousness. And it's like, oh, at that moment, I knew there was more than just the physical reality. That was my launching off point. And from once that door opens, you can't go back through that door. So my whole last, 40 years has been about what happened, what's really going on, who are we really? Because one of the things Ramtha said, it's not the voice coming through this little woman who's talking about Jay-Z. It's like, what's coming through you? That's the bigger mystery here. So I've grown up with channeling like you, and I've met some of the best. You know, I'm a bit of a channeling snob, and I just seek out the best because there's lots of great channels, and we have some fantastic people tonight. One more thing about channeling: everyone thinks it's a new phenomena, but if you go back to the prophets of the Old Testament, they were channeling. If you go back to the Oracle of Delphi, those beings were bringing through the voice of Apollo or whatever else. And it's an ongoing part of the spiritual legacy of humanity, the connection to these higher realms and allowing humans. Actually, my theory is the first theater pieces in Greeks were channeling the gods. And then when they could no longer channel the gods, they wrote down the lines so people could recite them. So I think our earliest beginnings go back to channeling efforts. So it's a modern phenomena. And this is where the wisdom, the beauty, and this connection to something beyond ourselves is really uplifting our society. So I'm really happy we're doing this show. And we have,
Beautiful.
should I introduce who we have here? Or you?
Yes,
Go ahead.
a reminder, I forgot to mention when we were going through the agenda, Alan. Of course, at 6:30, we have a meditation. So it works out perfect. You can introduce Jessica. We'll spend about 10 minutes with her, and then at 6:30, we'll do the meditation with Nicholas, and then we'll come back to Marilyn.
Okay, and also Vox's music is a channel music. You don't get a sound like that if you're thinking about it. You know, this is the magic of channeling. There's a book called The Breakdown of Consciousness in the Bicameral Mind, where these parts were separated in our brains. But when we access that right brain, we access wisdom if we can just get out of the way. So Marilyn Gavicki is going to bring through Zazar later, and I guess I'll just talk about Jessica, who I met at a UFO conference in Barcelona, and she channels the Vagrians.
Yeah.
Yes, however you want, I guess. And I'm curious about all of it. So she channeled for me, and it was really fantastic. And, you know, I don't think, Jessica, you told me it's nothing you planned on doing with your life, but now it is your life. She grew up in Canada, lives in Italy, has 2 daughters, right?
No, a son and a daughter.
A son and a daughter. And, you know, full-time mother, and she's channeling a lot. She has 2 amazing books out. Go ahead, Jessica. Why don't you tell us? You probably know more about yourself than I do.
Yeah, well, so thank you so much, everyone, for being here. This is so exciting. I love being here. I'm a channel for the non-physical entity group Vagrian, who is here through our request for this information. They don't exist otherwise. They're part of universal consciousness, as all of us are. And they are here to share their messages of unity consciousness and self-acceptance. And that is really what has consistently been coming through for 5 years now. I share this message on a regular basis. I'm a full trance channel, so I don't remember what I'm sharing, but I get to bathe in the energies of it regardless. And it has transformed my life through that frequency coming through very strongly. So I don't know, what else can we tell everyone?
I just want to ask you, is this as much about your spiritual journey in a sense as delivering the message? Is that what you're feeling?
Absolutely. I think that's definitely part of it. But I also think that, you know, one spiritual journey is everyone's spiritual journey, because on the spiritual level, we're all really one. And when we come back to that knowing, then anytime we are processing whatever we need to and raising our vibration and coming through consciousness, we're helping everybody else do the same. That's the ladder, basically, to our ascension.
So these Vagrians were never incarnate, right? And they're
No.
group consciousness. Is that they're
Yeah.
What? Do you know anything else about them? I mean, not that it
they're
matters.
non-local, non-physical, non-temporal. So our conceptions of individuation don't apply to them. The only reason why they have even a name is because from our perspective, it's very difficult to conceptualize that and then also listen to the message at the same time. So they allow us to call them by that name. And the name they chose as like a little trick for me to to get me to actually start sharing their message. Because when I went on the internet, as you do, when you get a name, you go, "What does this mean? You know, what could this possibly mean?" The only thing in Google that had anything to do with that name was a baby names website that said "Seeking ends when sharing begins," and I said, "Oh, you sneaky buggers." Are you sending me a message here? And indeed they were. So that is how they've come to be known. You know,
Wait,
aside from
seeking
Amazon,
ends,
seeking ends.
seeking ends when sharing begins.
Yes.
How do we do explain that in your
So
terms?
at the time, you know, when you're in your spiritual journey, sometimes you're even labeled a spiritual seeker. You know, you're going around and you're finding what resonates, what doesn't resonate, what resonates, what doesn't resonate. Where is the answer to consciousness? Where's the answer to creation? Where's the answer to my maker or whatever it is? And their point to me was, hey, you know, stop that. You have all of what you need within you, and go ahead and just share what your individuated gift for the world is. And if everyone were to do that, you know, we'd stop looking outside of ourselves for those answers.
Great. Now I get what that means, the
Mm.
Vagrians.
Yeah, they're a
Great.
bit cryptic.
Okay. Scott, you have anything for Jessica, or should we?
Yeah, Jessica, I'd love to ask you if there is a central theme, a central message that's come through that you could kind of share with us. We'll have you maybe do some channeling after we meet everybody else, but just what has been the central message so far that's come through?
Sure. Well, I suppose the main central messages are to value our human incarnation in the fact that we chose to be exactly who we are as we are for the specific reason, as this was the best possible and most exciting experience for us as a soul to have in this journey, including all of our challenges, including all of our conflicts or situations that are here to invite us into the growth that we're looking for. They also are here to help us in the desire that we have in this now moment as a collective to move from this separation consciousness that we're very accustomed to, and in fact is quite habitual, and into unity consciousness on a much deeper, more easeful way, rather than the way that we're attempting to do it. And self-acceptance, really being who you are in this now moment, enjoying who you are, raising your vibration, and living in a state of excitement for this wonderful journey and adventure we're on.
Mm.
You know,
And you
isn't
have
it
two.
amazing how, and
Go
I'll
ahead.
bring you up, Ellen, isn't it amazing how, whether it's channels or spiritual teachers, there really is this common message
Mm.
coming through over and over, similar to what I just talked about with the photo behind me. Jessica, how has your life changed? And especially maybe your spiritual vision of life and your experience of life from this new experience of channeling.
So paradoxically, I feel that I'm more human now than ever, in that I get to enjoy this experience as the spiritual being I am. Because previously, I perhaps thought that, you know, there was somewhere to go, some other way to be that was more relevant or more important than my current human experience. And in self-acceptance, in that understanding that we're all one, in the desire to be open and be sharing and have an open heart, and, you know, get rid of all of my distortions as much as possible, but while accepting them and having compassion for them, I get to really enjoy my life, because it tends to clear things out that aren't serving you, all those fears, all those negative beliefs, all those self-imposed mental challenges that you give yourself. And definitely the channeling has given me access to tons of wisdom that I don't have in my day-to-day experience. But on top of that, the frequencies and the vibrations have really cemented in those wisdoms and those concepts for me. So life is amazing. And it really is, even when challenges come up, they are wonderful adventures to undertake and to participate in and to see what happens. What does this Jessica person do with this information and this input? What can be done with this new thing to go through?
Beautiful.
There's a
We've got
question. There's a question in the chat. And I had a question for her. Did you have something you wanted to say, Scott?
same thing. Go ahead with the questions. We've got
Okay.
we've got
How do
5
you-
minutes before meditation.
Okay. How does your children accept the channeling that you're doing? What do they think about it?
You know, they don't know much about it. They haven't shown their own curiosity or interest in it very much. My older one has a little bit, but she's in the, oh, mom, you're kind of weird kind of stage of things. So I allow them absolutely to have their own opinions be formulated in an organic way. And when there is curiosity, I answer them what I'm doing. I think my daughter does appreciate that it helps people. You know, she's quite proud about that. And I think probably behind my back to her friends, she's like, my mom's this cool, weird, witchy, mystic thing, you know? But to my face, there's no way she's gonna tell me that mom's cool, that's for sure. And my little guy, he's kind of just energy.
All right. The question I have is, do you feel much more embodied because of like much more present in your, and how is that? Because you're leaving your body, but
Yeah.
you feel more in your body. So talk about that.
So I learned at the beginning of channeling that I did have some level of disconnection at the beginning. And my solution to that was either to go outside and take my shoes off, stand next to a tree. That seemed to help after sessions. Or even I was smoking tobacco at a certain point, and that re-embodied me. But what it actually taught me, because I didn't really want to be running around barefoot and, you know, maybe inhaling things that weren't great for my body, you know, in the middle of winter as well, going out without your shoes on wasn't that helpful. I had to learn how to embody very, very much. And so what I've learned also through the channeling is how important rest is, how important taking care of myself is, and really loving myself. And that's also what's helped me to have a much better life, because I'll channel, it doesn't drain me, it energizes me, but I end up very high vibration speed wise. And in fact, right now I can feel that kind of energy building up. But then I have to remember to slow down and be here. And that's really a skill I did not have before. I only had that hyperactive energy. And it's really beautiful to really enjoy being here. I mean, I dedicate time every day in my calendar to, you know, pet the cat. I just go and pet the cat, and, you know, and if I don't do it, I move it to later in the day. Oh, I didn't get to do it earlier. I better fit that in. And it really has become a way of living and being here in the moment, you know, even if it has to be scheduled.
It's interesting, because I think what Marilyn's going to say when it's her chance to share is similar ideas, but also a different manifestation of some of them. And we'll get to Marilyn soon. So next on the schedule, are we doing the meditation now, Scott?
That's correct. So we'll be back with Jessica. And Jessica, it's great to have you with us. Thank you.
Thanks.
And
yes. I want to welcome our Twin Ray group coming in. And, you know, every night we offer a free meditation. It's always at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Now, on the nights that we're doing the Awakening World, we have our meditation leader kind of come in and do it from here. But I'll put in the chat box for any of you that are interested, join us. A lot of Global Peace Tribers, as well as members of the Twin Ray community, come in every night at 6:30 to drop in. And we have a meditation and also sometimes pray for peace. And for the past several weeks on Wednesday nights, it's been our beloved brother Nicholas who's been doing the meditation for us from the Haven in Ashland. And the Haven is going to be closing for the winter. And so this is actually Nicholas's last evening doing the meditation with us, at least for a little while. So first off, Nicholas, thank you so much for being with us. Every week you bring so much love and so much of your own unique Nicholas grace to the field. So thank you for being with us. And I'm going to turn it over to you to lead tonight's meditation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Scott. Truly, the pleasure has been mine. I remember I started off a little bit nervous. All these people in doing this live on the computer, and each week I become more and more fond of this experience and have the privilege to tune into these beautiful guests that you have. And yeah, just feel so much love for Jessica in this moment. I thought this was really brilliant, epic, and simple, really authentic sharing that resonates really deeply with me as the more that I grow or learn or unlearn, whatever words we choose to learn. There's this understanding of the preciousness of what it is to be human and the gift that it is. And we're here for a reason in body. And the experience is not out there. It's in here in the simple things like petting a cat. This is the way of meditation, I believe. To stop and to pause. And with what Jessica has shared with us about this channeling and these very high frequencies that come through, really whatever type of creative gift that we have, the capacity that one has to be able to pause, to step back, to balance themselves, to create a harmony, to feel a unity, a oneness, that sweetness, that which of course can't be described. To build that connection to that is so essential in this life, to remember and always come back to the simple things. And so in this meditation, I felt inspired to share a specific posture and a specific breath. The intention of this meditation is all about calming the heart, is all about balance and stability of the polarities. And as we come around the holiday season on Thanksgiving, there's also a tenderness of the heart that I think we all feel. We may or may not be blessed to share this time with loved ones. Maybe we just come together as a family, as one heart. Let's come into this meditation, to invoke this beautiful love and peace within our own awareness, within our own field, and unto infinity, we could say. The thumbs up with the left hand, and then with the right, we're going to come and clasp the left thumb. So thumb up, come and clasp that thumb. And so both thumbs are up, essentially the same thing with both fists. And just squeeze firmly on that left thumb with about 5 pounds of weight. Now I'm holding the posture up a bit high just so you can see me well, but we want to have the hand posture right aligned through the central column, starting around the diaphragm and heart center down to the belly button. We'll let our eyes fall closed and connect to the posture. Tall in the spine, soft in the shoulders. Eyes are focused up and into the space between the brow. These points of focus to guide and direct our attention, our energy, and to balance harmony, unity. Now with breath, we're going to pucker the lips and we're going to suck the breath in through the mouth, invoking a beautiful cooling sensation. And then we'll exhale through the nose, very graceful. Command that breath, slowly exhaling through the nose. And you'll repeat just like so. A cool breath in. A graceful exhale out through the nose. And continuing just like so. Hear the sound of the breath. Notice its tone, its texture. When you breathe in that air like there's something in there that you can't get enough of, something in this air, what the yogis call the prana, the life force. Breathe it in like you can't get enough. Fill up those lungs. And each time you exhale, empty yourself completely. Become zero. And continue in this rhythm, here and now, fully present in the body, resisting nothing, feeling, listening closely. Continue to hold the posture steady and still. In this way, calling back all attention, energy, all that you are, into a beautiful balance, harmony, like an art piece, like a chalice. Like a posture of peace, creating a safe space to receive all that you are. Breath after breath. And as you dwell in presence, contemplate yourself. Who is present? What is present? Recognize that you're aware in this moment. Who is aware? What is aware? Very nice. Together, let's take one more deep breath in. Pause at the top of your breath. Remain in the posture. Bring all attention into the spine. Lift. In a graceful exhale, soften, relax everything, melting down. Beautiful work. To deepen into this presence, may we use the tool of gratitude. Sit in the seat of gratitude and look all around you. See the abundance, the blessings, all the gifts around you, and give thanks, give thanks, give thanks in your own way. As we sit in this abundance, sitting in this seat of gratitude, with all this love, this peace, contemplate yourself. What are you choosing to do with this love, with this energy? Who are you being? How are you showing up? May we live true to that which we feel in our hearts. May we take the time to always unwind, to come back, to reflect, to reconnect, and begin again, to connect to what's real within. And then really show up for that. The gratitude of the life that we've been blessed with. And really go for it. Do the things that you love most. This precious gift of life. May we hold nothing back. Let the palms come together, sealing in prayer mudra as we seal up this meditation. In your own way, ground in deeper into the body. Coming back. We'll take one final cleansing breath together, a full breath in, and a sigh. By thy grace, may it be so. Thank you all so much. It's a pleasure sending my love and gratitude.
Thank you, Nicholas. And a reminder that you can study with Nicholas. You can either go to Ashland and study with him live, or you can work with him online. And I've put the way to reach him through his email address. It's his name, and Nicholas Talles, THALES, @gmail.com. And Brother Nicholas, so much love. Give my love to everybody up there at the Thanksgiving gathering tomorrow. And I look forward to seeing you. I'm going to come up in December, so I'll see you then.
Beautiful, brother. Looking forward to it.
All right. Much love. Take care, brother.
Much
Thanks
love.
again. Thank you
You're
so
so
much.
brother.
Isn't he just like the most beautiful being? I mean, I can't think of anyone I would rather study yoga with, because he's so gentle, but he lives it. I mean, he is a true yogini. All right. I'm going to turn it back over to my good buddy, Alan. And Alan, we haven't mentioned something we always mention, that you and I go all the way back to 1989 together. We don't have to tell the whole story again, but we've been crossing paths ever since Alan and I worked together on a wonderful movie together in Maui. So
Right. I was sleeping in a tent at Haleakua, and this film crew shows up, and I just got out of the film business in New York City just to take a break. And Scott says, "Hey, you want to be assistant director?" And there we go. And the rest
the rest is history. All
we
right,
keep
we're looking
crossing
forward to
paths. Yes. Okay. You're looking
So,
forward.
tell us
Yes.
about Marilyn.
Today's next, Marilyn Gavicki is an incredible channel. She comes from the clinical psychology world. She's a clinical psychologist, had this spiritual awakening, and this being, Zazar, I forgot which dimension he's from. I get my dimensions mixed up. But Marilyn, there's Zazar, or a kind of likeness of Zazar. He's Marilyn will tell us what dimension and planet he's from. But what really convinced me of Zazar's authenticity was I did a interview with Marilyn, and Zazar came through and he talked all about magnificence. My magnificence, all of our magnificence, in a way that I never understood before. I never realized that I'm magnificent. I don't think it's ego to say it. And all of us are magnificent beings, magnificent in the full capacity of that word. And I've had to look at that interview a couple of times just to realize, what was he talking about? Where can I find that in myself? And so loving, so caring, like Marilyn. But Zazar just felt like cradled me in these dimensional arms and gave me a piece of myself I wasn't looking at before. And that's why I'm so happy you're here, Marilyn. And I'm going to put that that interview in the chat. But Marilyn, thank you. What do you think so far of our program here?
Well, I'll tell you this. I think it's fantastic. And it tells me the truth of how much Zazar has taught me about the humans on this planet and their heart and the light they're capable of carrying. And this show tonight is such an amazing example of that hope, of that truth, of that magnificence, all of you on this show tonight is just such proof of who we really are on this earth and who we are becoming.
Wow. That's great. Scott, isn't that a good confirmation of your magnificence?
Well, thank you. And I love that message that we actually all are magnificent. You know, most of the world's great religions broke us down, and, you know, we're very shame-based. And again, one of the commonalities of the great spiritual teachers that we hear is really learning true self-love. And true self-love isn't about ego. It's not about selfishness. It's about remembering our great divinity and who we truly are. So that's a beautiful opening message. And I look forward to hearing more from you, Marilyn.
Well, here's the funny thing, that Cesar is here purposely to shed light on the truth of who we are and all the diminishment programs that we've had on earth, to release them. And he often teases and says, you know, when I go back to my brethren, my light brethren, after being here and being channeled through you, they say, you have a great job to help humans, these incredible beings, learn their magnificence. And he said, you know, it's not quite as easy as you might think, because there is such resistance for humans to realize the truth of their lighted way. And Cesar has taught me that. And being a psychologist my whole life, and then Cesar came out, it was really in the first year I realized that he was truly this being from the sixth dimension who was coming through me, comes entirely in my body. My vocal cords, it changes. He is within me, and he touches my magnificence, which makes me able to channel. Once I got it in my mind that this wasn't my wisdom, and the question was, would I be big enough to channel him? But you know, once you really get the truth of channeling, so many other truths come in line, because here was this being from the sixth dimension, which means there are other dimensions, there are other realities, there is a divine source intelligence. I do have this magnificent soul. Humans have this. We lead with our hearts, and that's the best part of us. And so I began to have all those doubts that I had all my life about reincarnation and my own existence of soul and the remembrance of what I came into this life to do. And those questions, those doubts that haunt so many humans: is there God? Are there other dimensions? Are we really on an ascension path? After the first year of channeling Cesar, all those questions were put to rest. And I get to live in that knowing of the truth that the world beyond us is so amazing. And Cesar's here to help us see into that world. But really, the world we see into is the world within.
Well, Marilyn, what was that moment for you, you know, coming from psychology, where you had that awakening, like, oh my God, there's something more? Can you talk about that?
Well, I knew when I wrote my first book that I received downloads of information that for 20 seconds would take me a couple of days to decipher. So I knew I was getting downloads of information. But when Cesar first came in, the feeling was both ecstasy and complete confusion all at once, which is kind of like the human journey. But I knew in that moment when he came through, the energy was so sublime that it was not mine. It wasn't my higher self. It was definitely a being that came through. I could feel him, my body, mind, and heart all integrated around that. And then it took me a while to get used to, as Jessica said, the tremendous amounts of energy that come in. And at one point I said to Cesar, you know, when you come in now, could you bring some vitamin packets from above so that, you know, I can maintain this intense energy? But what's so wonderful is the more work that I do on myself, the larger my channel becomes. If that's not motivation to clear out my own debris, but really what's important is to be one of those humans that can be the light, that can be the lighted way, that each of us are capable of being. And I don't know when you would like this, but Cesar has a beautiful message that he'd like to give you. Oh, I can't hear.
Sorry, I think we're going to do another round, but I just want to say, Marilyn and Cesar, when we were out in Sedona, when we did the CE5, there was about 75 people there, and it was the best viewing of these star beings I ever saw. Marilyn had these night vision glasses, and she said, "I see a triangle up there." I said, "Let me see, Marilyn." As I was looking through these night vision, this triangle went from its point up to its point down, and I said, "Oh my God, there really are UFOs out there." I mean, I wrote the book on it, but just seeing it, it's like, and that was an incredible moment. That
Well,
was
listen, when Cesar is present, we always have sightings. We've had crafts over our house, 500 feet above our house. I mean, we've seen fully manifested extraterrestrials walking around the sanctuary. Cesar has the ability to bring in and open these portals for higher dimensional beings. So it's quite the exciting life when he directs.
so Scott, when do we want to hear the message? You want to do another round with Vox or what's up?
Yeah, let me, I want to introduce Fox. So I'm going to introduce Fox, and then we'll do another round. All right. But we have one more amazing channel who's with us tonight. And it is the wonderful Vox Angelus. And she's been on the show several times. And I want to give her a chance to just kind of share a little bit. And of course, you and I and Alan were all there for Stairway to the Stars. And what stood out for you? Of course, I did a show from there, which you were supposed to be on, and I messed up with, Alan, what happened was remember we were originally going to do the show from the Egyptian room, and then we moved it downstairs, and God bless, Vox showed up at the Egyptian room, and anyway, we missed her, so we're glad to have her with us tonight. So it's kind of your overall experience, Vox, of what's happening with UFOs, intergalactic, people like yourself, higher dimensions. What's your take on all of this? What does it all mean?
That's a big one. I've been going actually through, like, the floodgates have actually really opened for me within the last 2 weeks. And so my sense of it for me has been that everything is here now. So within my personal spiritual life, it was really about being able to open up to all of that, to be able to see everything and experience everything in this now moment, which initially was overbearing because I used to go here, go there, and beings would come in, right? And so for me, a lot of people say, well, I can't see galactics. I can't see this. And, I'm just realizing, there's multiple dimensions and so forth, but they're right here. So for me, it has really been learning about being able to step from 3D into what have you, or to shift dimension to dimension and from space to space. So I've been doing and learning a lot about doing that lately and keeping myself sane while I'm doing it. So for me, the ability to connect and really truly understand and speak to and see and experience these other beings, galactic and otherwise, it's been like Pleiadians and Syrians and even the Anunnaki and the Galactic Federation lately, is that it's been so easy to drop down into the simplicity of your intention to communicate. And so in so doing, I have found that it's actually been extraordinarily easy for me as of late. And so it's kind of how you believe in things, but you also want something a little more tangible so people won't think you're crazy, or you're kind of like, I've always believed in all of this since I was a little girl, even though I had to have such trust and such faith, because I couldn't see it necessarily. It's just kind of like nobody else believed in it. And so you have to have this trust and faith until you can actually have your own true experience of it, so that you can say, yeah, this is true, right? And so, if you're asking, are there other beings? Are there other galactics? Yes, I've met a majority of them, and a lot of them recently, which is kind of interesting, because it's just really been a part of my own spiritual unfolding. But what the angels have always told me is, infinite source God, whatever you want to call that, it's like it's really expressly simple. And humans just like to muddy the waters. It's with all of these techniques and methodologies and all of this stuff, and this is their words, when you can just pick up your mobile phone and call us. So it was just like, so I've been doing that a little more, picking up my mobile phone and calling them. So they gave me a meditation to easily kind of make that connection. But I just find it so interesting because I know at Disclosure Fest, there are so many different levels of people and experiences and all of that. So it's just really interesting to kind of take it all in and to really kind of try to recognize within myself what's going on each of those levels.
It seems as though all this phenomena is helping all of us to really change our consciousness, to see the bigger picture, to see beyond whatever religion we were raised with, whatever belief systems. And the people that I know that I respect are expanding their consciousness. And tragically, there also appears to be some people on the planet that are wanting to contract and become more narrowcasting of right, wrong, obviously the wars that are taking place, the incredible social unrest that we're seeing, where there's political figures with a lot of followers who are preaching extreme xenophobia. But it seems that our tribe, the people that are attracted to Global Peace Tribe, and to shows like New Realities TV, Alan's show, are people that are really all about expanding our consciousness. I mean, we're way beyond black, brown, white, good, bad, and we're like opening up to galactic civilizations, right? It's pretty exciting.
Well,
So,
I have a question for Vox too, because she doesn't really give a verbal message. Her message is vibration and sound and frequency. And are you connecting to a place when you bring this through, or is it beyond your mind, or what's happening?
Well, it's a little bit of both, because I do give verbal messages, but you haven't experienced that yet. So I do both. But from what they have told me and why I was kind of in training a lot of times, because there's different types of channeling, and Elohim, which is really a group more so, they're always talking about, well, when you talk about channeling, there's different styles and types of channeling, that there's a lot of definitions that fall under the umbrella of channeling. They do not like the word channeling, so they prefer to call me a conduit. I happen to be in physical form, but the majority of me is not. And this is for everyone. The majority of us exists within our higher mind, our God self, our spirit self. And when we speak of channeling, and what Scott was talking about was really like the awakening, the expansion of our consciousness. What I have actually come to understand, which has made it so much easier, is that we don't really have to expand and awaken our consciousness. We're already there. But the reason that we don't recognize that is because there are certain beliefs. There are certain like negative beliefs, or, paradigms, or, whatever it is that we have constructed within ourselves, or that it's constructed for us, has actually hidden the fact of our true immensity and power, and what it is that we are capable of doing. So if you speak of all of those different things as like veils, we're dropping the veils so that we can see more and more and more. So you cannot, in my work, yes, I work with frequency, vibration, resonance. And if you're not of the proper frequency, vibration, or resonance of what it is you desire to see or have or what have you, you can't see it. And so really for us, the process of awakening and our spiritual evolution is about raising our frequency and our vibration and bringing ourselves into resonance higher and higher, higher, higher with our own, the immensity of who we are, so that we can consciously be conscious of being conscious, if that makes sense. There we go.
No, it does
Thank you.
make sense. And thank you, because your frequency is uplifting other people's frequency. I mean, that's the thing that and you and Jessica and Marilyn, you're sort of all saying the same thing in a different language. And
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
hearing some feedback, Scott. Are you hearing some feedback?
I think I know what that is. I can fix it.
Oh, okay.
And
all right.
I'm going to fix it while Omashar plays a song, because we've got a lot to integrate. And then we'll come back to each person and actually give them a chance to channel. So now that we've met our 3 channels, let's integrate what we heard. And Fox, that was brilliant. Thank you for what you shared. It was a really beautiful summation. So I invite all of us to tap into our multidimensional self as we listen to Omashar's music.
Light brighter than the sun. Here where life is one. All the past falls like rain into the soil of future dreams. Love, the footprint in the sand. Eyes shining like the stars. And the way is suddenly so clear. And we know what has to be done. Still, we wonder why flowers keep on blooming. The stardust in our eyes lifts us on to a higher plane, a deeper truth, our rightful place. And still we wonder why. Life, a promise to fulfill. Now a vision is revealed, and the blessing of who we really are can be felt throughout our world. And still we wonder why flowers keep on blooming. The stardust in our eyes lifts us all to a truth, our rightful place, and still we wonder why. Lights brighter than the sun. Here where life is fun. Life, a promise to fulfill. Now, a vision is revealed. Still, we wonder why flowers keep on blooming, the stardust in our eyes lifts us all to a higher plane, a deeper truth, our rightful place, and still we wonder why. Life, a promise to fulfill. Now, a vision is revealed, and still we wonder why.
It's all twinkle, beloved brother Omar Shah. I love that song. Thank you so
Wow.
much. It's a perfect song for tonight, actually.
You know, Scott, I'm so glad you got Omar Shah as the steady kind of music, because every week before Omar Shah, you would look for the best musician and you'd get some incredible people, Larissa Stowe, Kristen Hoffman, but having Omar Shah as that steady go-to house band just kind of makes it more solid, you know, somehow.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you,
It
Alan.
has changed it.
It's truly phenomenal having this position here, and I really love it when Scott brings on other musicians. Just a couple of nights ago, we had Nina Gray, holy smoke, and Kristen Hoffman comes on. So many other people who are really high in my estimation. So thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Laura Chamberlain just wrote in the chat box, dancing in Chicago on Thanksgiving evening to Omar Shah with my favorite spiritual folks and channelers. Life can't get better than this.
Ta-da.
And you know,
Thanks.
Alan, people can
Yes.
get Omar Shah twice a week on the Awakening World, but they can get him anytime by going to his website, which is omarshah.com, his name, omarshah.com. And if they go to Bandcamp, that's the best place to buy his albums. He's got 5 albums out, and they all the songs that we hear on the Awakening World are on these albums. So it's really wonderful for people to support him in that way, because he has become just the most important part of the Awakening World.
I like my
Hey.
week. Okay, namaste.
Namaste, namasko, as Swami Beyondananda says. You know, Scott, I just want to say something. You know, today is it the 60th anniversary of the JFK assassination, which was a turning point in history. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and the year coming up, 2024, where we're going to do a prediction show at the end of the year, is going to be another change in timelines in a good way. The UFO phenomenon is coming mainstream to Congress in a big way. There's more ships appearing. People are channeling is a common word now. The Institute of Noetic Science is studying channeling. So things are really accelerating so we can live our magnificence, as Cesar has said. And I'm really excited about, I mean, of course, there's awful things happening, wars, but I'm excited about what's possible for human beings this year coming. So that's a little piece.
I am too. And I'm excited about the next part of the show where we get to have each of these people share their guides and their channeling with us. So do you want
Yes.
to bring back Jessica all the way from Italy?
Milano,
So
Italy. I
Jesse,
want to
thank
say
you
about
so much for being.
I just want to say about Jessica, not only is she a great channel, but when I sat with her, she said, "Oh, do you want to feel some energy?" So we sat across from her and I was just engulfed. That was as great as your channeling, was your energy transfer, Jessica. So anyway, it's up to you and the Vagrians. So go for it. Anything you want to say about what's going to happen here?
No, I'll just pop into trance. I guess we'll do Q&A format. You've met
Well,
them a couple times, so
do they want to start with an initial statement of sort?
they,
But we'll
you know,
see.
they'll say whatever they say before they give you space to speak anyhow.
One thing I'm always interested in is how you go from your normal state, or channels go from the normal state to this other state. Can you talk us through it a little bit?
Sure. It seems to be almost like a light switch type of situation. And the time it takes for me when I say, okay, I'm gonna go into trance, that's the time it takes for me to resist what's coming through. So up until the point where they start talking, I'm still here kind of going like, no, I can do this. No, that's right. No, I'm not crazy. And all the stuff that channels have with their insecurities with like, oh, am I actually channeling what's coming through? Is this correct? Is this the right thing to say? But the minute I actually go, okay, fine, I'm going to say the first thing, I'm gone. And the goneness seems to be, they actually explained it yesterday in a session that it's almost like you're a Wi-Fi signal and your phone is picking up a Wi-Fi and your phone is your body. And then your phone body switches off that Wi-Fi and picks up a different signal. So that was a really nice way of describing it. So they're a separate Wi-Fi signal that gets picked up, but it doesn't mean my Wi-Fi is off. It just means it's not being received by this particular hardware. So that's
Right.
a little bit of the short version.
Scott, you have anything to say before we lose Jessica and meet the Vagrians?
No, I'm looking forward to the channeling.
Wonderful. Okay, so I'll have them come through as soon as I can. All right.
Okay.
Good now to you. We are pleased to be meeting with you in this fashion and are eager to discuss with you anything you so choose to know more of yourselves. We would like to add that it is a beautiful timing that we are greeting with you in this now moment, in that you do have significance around gratitude in this period in many parts of the world, and especially in this particular audience, while you are preparing for having a full day of focus on your gratitude or appreciation, or the looking out for the lovely and pleasurable things in life, those things that make you you, because yes, it is your desires that are unique to you, that make you who you are. Looking out for clues and hints that those desires are being fulfilled for you, with you, every single day of your existence is what gratitude is. It is that hunting, that curiosity, that treasure hunt, yes, for your ability to find what it is that you came here for. Every time you express gratitude, every time you sense gratitude within yourself, or yes, even force yourself in a hard day perhaps to find that one lovely thing that occurred. Could it have been the spider crawling on its web, the way the light hit those strands of silk that made your heart sing? That was the one thing. Yes, that is enough, because that is why you are here, to find those little treasures, to find that pathway to yourself, and to expand through that knowing of that being the direction for you. We are now happy to hear whatever it is you would like to discuss.
You know, Scott, you just did a whole thing about gratitude. I saw it on your Facebook. It's interesting that they'd be talking about this. Do you have anything to say in response to what you just heard?
Well, I would love to. There's some questions from the audience, so I'm going to go to that.
Okay. Yeah.
Susan is asking you, the channel, where are you from?
We are non-local in that we have no location, we have no temporal existence, so we are outside of time and space, and also the physicality. Not being in time or space does not allow for physicality. The transmission is received only because of the focus upon it. It is actually you that creates what we are. Therefore, we are where you are. And if you can't determine that, then you have solved half of the mystery.
There's a question from one of our viewers on Facebook asking, is there hope for humanity? From your perspective, are we going to rise in consciousness as a planet, or are we going to go through parallel Earths? What do you see for the future?
We see humanity as nothing but hope. You have come to this existence in a grand experiment. The experiment is, and the main question is in a space where you forget what you are and who you are and that you are all connected, can you regain that gift, that miracle of the isness of the natural state of what is? So humanity, and yes, many other configurations of organization of consciousness have had this form of experiment in the past. But if you have noticed, you are the only species on your planet who exercises this level of confusion about the natural order of things. And therefore, it is your choice in having incarnated as a human being to have the hope that you can contribute in a positive way to this evolution for yourselves. This is a grand game, and the game is, can I win? Can I win? You also have all this hope within yourself, and the winning in this case is remembering who you are before your time is up. Of course, you are guaranteed to have that experience after your incarnational version, but here now, what can you do with this wonderful experience that you are having? And what the direction is that this will be manifest, whether it be that you awaken completely all at once and shift to a parallel reality, which anyway, you are always on the best possible reality that you could possibly be on, or whether you have technology teach you what it means to be unified, or whether you have external species come and give you that leg up towards what you are looking for. There are many avenues for hope. We would say that despair is that not being equal, not balanced. It is also, if you look at the words, it is unequal is the definition of despair, not equal in proportion. So anytime you are feeling sad, anytime you are feeling hopeless, there is something that you are not equally looking at. And yes, that is the other side of the coin, the other option, the optimism that is somewhere in every pessimistic thought that you have. So lean towards that and your hope will be rekindled. And yes, we have infinite hope for you, but we do not need it.
Okay. What about this other question? Do other species on the planet understand this game better than humans, I guess?
It is a different game that they are playing. In that consciousness is all playing its own individuated game. In fact, each and every one of you has come here for a specific version of a type of game. So a warthog is perhaps playing the game of being the best warthog it could possibly be. And that has completely different rules than being the best human. And not that there is a best or a better or a comparison, but in the games of existence and consciousness, there are not parallels between species, but we are saying that you can take your cue from other species. Certainly none of the other species are taking their cue from yours.
Right. I have a question, and then there's some other questions in the chat, but are the ETs from other planets going to be physically informed, exchanging with humans openly in the next couple of years?
Because your physical vessels are, at this point in time, what you believe to be the most important aspects of you, or the majority of you do, not this particular group, but many of you do believe that physical existence is far more important than any level of other existence that can be. It is not likely that you will have ETs walking around openly with you in the near future because you would probably try to kill them. You have not even succeeded in stopping to kill each other. And so there will be, yes, much contact, yes, much collaboration, but there's no need for something to manifest in physical form to you, which would then cause you anxiety unnecessarily. So yes, you may see these beings, you may be immersed within them, but there's no need for beings who do not need to manifest physically to come into your experience. And many of the species you are talking about, being physical is optional.
Mm.
I'm really
Okay.
appreciating the wisdom and the way that she has very practical answers. Here's a question
Yes.
from Tina Joy, one of her favorite global peace drivers down in Ecuador. First, she has grateful for your sharing and your help. Question: what are the most important ways to overcome our multiple human crises and the choices that we can make to evolve beyond collective fear, violence, and self-destructive ways?
Yes, so it is on the individual level. If each of you leans into yourself and makes that concrete, committed decision to act from a space of love as often as is possible, and when not possible, to act in a space of love with self and compassion for whatever errors you are making, you will very quickly see improvements in all of the situations on your planet. The hiccup to this suggestion is that many of you are waiting for someone else to lead you or to guide you in how to do this, when the information, all of the programming for this is in your actual native heart, in that you were born with this capacity and this ability. In fact, it is all you are ultimately. And everything laid on top of that is what you are asking for permission to let go of. If you were to take this one moment in time to give yourself permission to be yourself and live from your heart space, now choosing to do no harm to others, whether it be on a micro or macro scale, it does not serve to point fingers at the problem being outside of somewhere else, because that too is the problem that everyone is experiencing. Then you would have much relief and see improvements being made. Yes, there is time to unravel any knots that one has created in a ball of wool if they had not paid attention to it unraveling properly. But you do have the ability to do it. You do have the ability to untie these knots, but only with love.
Terry Russo has a question. Why do some of us have direct contacts and are even taken at times on board crafts while others do not? Or are we all experiencing this with ETs, but some of us just don't remember?
No. Those of you that are having these, and yes, there are those who do not remember, of course, as well, but those of you who are in contact with ETs in this now moment are and have volunteered to be the ground crew for the transformation. That is the collaboration between your species. It is asking similarly to, why is it that some of us go to work in zoos and some of us do not, or into animal rehabilitation centers? It is because there is a choice of those beings to work with other species, and on this level, because most of your contract with other species is on that soul contract level, there is the complication that the conscious mind, your human mind, does not necessarily remember having made that contract. But in feeling into these energies, and yes, there are also situations where you could possibly manifest a situation or a circumstance that does not feel that holistic or benevolent to you. But even in that case, there is a soul contract that experience was meant to catalyze you to have other experiences in your life, or compassion, or propel your life's journey in a certain direction or otherwise. So the contracts are there regardless of the nature of the experience, and the contracts are there so that you can be in service to others by helping to escort what is called disclosure into human consciousness.
That's good. So, what do you see for the future for humanity in the next year or so, from your perspective?
We see more opportunities for you to choose not to be polarized. We see more opportunities for you to choose to step into love, opportunities that will make you feel perhaps that there is no option. And in that no option, there is only love. Well, that is the logical conclusion. For example, if there's nothing you can do, then why not love? So that is part of what you will continue to experience. But also, as you do make that choice, each and every one of you, to step into that love, the vibration of the planet and your collective timeline will begin to shift in the directions that you are choosing. So as you decide that you have preferences towards, for example, peace or tranquility, or you have preferences towards resolution of conflict, or you have preferences towards new innovation in order to live more harmoniously with that environment that is around you, you will begin to, through that love, through that choosing and having complete faith and confidence in it. We would recommend this in that you do have the ability to call into yourselves via your vibration and your intention much of the reality that you are wanting. So continue to hold faith, because your desired reality is manifesting for you on an individual level, and catalyst will appear for those whom are not yet ready to step into their sovereignty and understand that they too can choose love. Every being on your planet that is not choosing love in this now moment only does so because they believe that they cannot. They have that love in them too. They just are driven more by fear of what happens if they become that love.
Great. Scott?
This is beautiful channeling, and we do have 2 other channels we need to get to.
Yes.
But I really thank you. I'm a snob when it comes to channeling, because I've seen hundreds of people channeling and used to choose them. And I just really want to acknowledge the clarity that absolutely I really appreciate what a clear channel Jessica is. And thank you, guides or guide, for sharing your wisdom with us. Very, very
We
grateful.
thank you equally and for your service, as you are that ground crew that is helping to spread this message as widely as all of your intention desires. And we leave you with the light and the love of 1,000 suns. Anainai.
Thank you. There are 2 Vagrian books out as well. We'll get to that. Thank you, Jessica. Beautiful. How are you feeling?
Great.
Jessica, that was beautiful. It was really powerful. And I'm going to the website where people can get more of you. Of course, it's in the chat box. But tell us a little bit about what we're looking at. And for those of you watching on Facebook, the website is at J.P. Herman, the letter J, the letter P, Herman.com. And there's Jesse. And I really want to encourage people to do what I'm doing right now, which is to subscribe, so that you can, follow her adventures and what she's doing. What would you like to, direct our people towards? What would you like for our
Great.
people to know?
Well, there's a lot on the website, but I do one-on-one channelings. I do pranic healing as well. I do have coaching packages where I can guide people through whatever is going on in their life from this spiritual perspective. There are my books available on Amazon, so there you can get free chapters. As soon as you sign up for the mailing list, you get free chapters of my first book, which people seem to enjoy. And I'm doing some group sessions now. I'm always inventing something new to offer to people, and hoping to bring more books and more experiences through to everyone, because I'm loving working with Vagrian. And also I have a YouTube channel, so go over there and get tons and tons of channelings for free.
Beautiful. And I want to read some comments that have come in, and then we'll go to Marilyn. Ayada writes, Jessica, thank you so much. This was powerful, so clear, and such deep truth, spoken with kindness and effortlessness. Grace Denise writes, that was great. And there's a question from Dia Therese to you, Jessica. Now, I don't know if it's something you can respond to or not, or if this was your guide, but Dia wants to know if you would speak to your interpretation of the concept of one God, especially quote him. How does that apply to you? And again, she's offering great gratitude to you.
So my interpretation, I'm actually of Jewish background. So I had a Jewish education and understand monotheism for those reasons. But my understanding of the one God is that the word one might have been misinterpreted in that the one must include the all, because we all are one, and therefore one God is accurate, but that one God includes all that is and excludes nothing and no one. So that's my experience of Vagrian's energy on this particular topic. You know, they don't mind if you use the word God. They don't mind if they use the word source, whatever it is. You could worship a chicken if you want, or, you know, whatever rocks your boat. But they do want you to understand that that is anything that you're, you know, enjoying for your practice is a representation and a mirror, a fractal of all that is. So, you know, you can love your partner and that can be your worship, and you're still worshiping God. So that I hope answers that question.
Beautiful. And people are wanting to know your YouTube channel.
Okay.
You can put in the chat box and we'll pull it up, because people,
Yeah.
they want more of you.
Wonderful. Okay, so I'll find the quick link and I'll pop that in the chat so you can move on with
And more
everyone
people
else.
coming in saying thank you so much.
Mhm.
Alan, I'm
Yeah.
going to turn it back over to you to introduce us to Marilyn again.
Well, yes. Thank you, Jessica, for
Thank you.
coming up and being up till 3 a.m. for this program in Italy. And we'll be in touch anyway.
That's
So,
beautiful,
yes,
Jessica. Thank you.
my good friend Marilyn, I feel as close to Zazar, her being that comes through, as Marilyn, because, you know, Marilyn, you are a fantastic person. And then when you go into the state, there's Zazar, there's this palpable feeling of love in the air. For me, that was my experience. And it took me a while to warm up to Zazar, because, you know, I see a lot of channels and it's like, oh, this being really cares and loves people and is here for that purpose. And you've made that the purpose of your life. That picture of Zazar, can you just put that up again? Because where'd that picture come from? That picture of Zazar.
Vashta Narada is an artist in Europe, and she actually travels interdimensionally to meet these guides and ETs and interdimensional beings. And we asked her to paint Zazar, and so she went and met him and came back and was able to paint him digitally and sent the painting to us, and it's exactly how I saw him.
Wow. Okay, talk about Zazar. How do you get in touch, and where's he from? And you never know.
He's a six-dimensional being. He has to step down in body. So at his level, you can choose your cosmic genome. And so he's part Arcturian, Palladian, and actually extraterrestrial elfin. But for the most part, for me, he's just a higher dimensional being. For our benefit, he's embodied so that we can feel like we're actually meeting another being. And so he comes through, and let's do it.
Yeah, how do you want to talk us through it the way you do it, or it just happens?
So it happens very quickly now. He comes in and out so quickly. In the past, it would take a while, but now he comes through, and he's, you know, part of when I know Zazar is coming out, I feel this fullness and this pressure. And it's like, if I don't let him out, you know, at this point, he's so excited to be here. So.
Okay, let's let him out. Go ahead.
I'm like, yes, Zazar, I know. Hold on.
Okay, go for it. I'm going to go. Yes.
So it's so good to be here. You know, to hear everyone who is here, to hear you, beautiful Jessica, and Vox, to hear you, to hear the music, to feel you, Scott, to to see your magnificence. Of course, dearest Alan, because you know I see your magnificence. You can't hide it from me. So I want to be here. Is what a proud to be here with. So magnificent. Now, I want to say something, that there is much war on your planet, but you know, the outer war cannot end until the inner wars find peace, because every human has such inner wars going on with all the dualism, good, bad, right, wrong, inadequate, adequate, separation, unity. All of these wars are within. But when this global peace project you are involved in, is so important to bring the peace to the inner world. You know, if you take 1,000 people, humans, who have this inner peace, who no longer have the raging wars within, take these 1,000 people, put them on an island, it would be absolutely impossible for them to do war or do harm to someone else who is in the same peace state. And so this inner state of peace is so important to quell the war within and to raise the frequencies, to raise the vibrations by living into what everybody is talking about in love, in joy, in unity, and to find what is zest in your life, you know, to go and find the zesty in life and to feel that gratitude. All of this raises your vibration. Here is the thing about light technology. Light technology is about when you raise your vibration, you actually increase the receptor sites in your energetic being to receive the enormous light that is coming into your planet at this point in time. There is diamond light coming in from source sun that comes through the galactic sun and your solar sun to the planet. And this diamond light is fuel for manifestation of this ascension process. And so as you find yourself in higher vibrations or in nature, to expand so that your actual energetic body opens more sights for this beautiful diamond light. And there's something else that is so auspicious at this time of year. You know, 2,000 years ago, the Christed One came. This has nothing to do with your religions. This Christed being is a great cosmic avatar that is known in the universe, came to be embodied as a human to bring what the seeds of ascension in the human heart. And now 2,000 years later, those seeds are beginning to sprout in your heart for this ascension process. And he came in a craft, this same craft, you call it the Star of Bethlehem, but it was of course a craft from above that brought this being to earth. And now this same Christed craft of Christed consciousness, not about religion, is now around earth once again, bringing in enormous lighted consciousness for this ascension time. So you have the diamond light, you have all this beautiful Christed light coming in this time of year right now because of the resonance on the planet now. What is this all about? It is about stimulating the magnificent field within you that is actually an energetic field that has been diminished with many veils that so many talk about. It has been diminished, this magnificent field, but it is actually an energetic field that can open, and it holds the transformational material for this ascension time to move into the fifth dimension. And this field, this magnificence that you have hidden from yourselves. Every single human has this magnificent spark from source in their soul, in their heart. It's so beautiful. Someone asked about hope. I say to you, there is so much hope for the human race, because why do we find so much interest in coming here? All the different beings coming here, being channeled, all the Galactic Federation in the circle of light around your planet, because the humans, even though they have been in darkness and densities, their heart has survived and shows up with such amazing love, like tonight. And so when this magnificent field is able to come into life in your consciousness, to know you are absolutely magnificent, you are here all of you, to be in this magnificent. It opens up corridors to the fifth dimensional miracle mantle, where so much healing will come down to you, body, mind, heart, spirit. And this light that is coming in, as you open to it, as you open your corridors to the diamond light, the Christ light, the miracle mantle light, as you open those corridors and the light comes in, the light is so powerful now that it actually disintegrates and dissolves the darkness in densities. This is the good news. The light that's coming in, should you decide to be a receptor, and all of you here, I can tell, are beautiful receptors, and the light is coming in as I talk right now. It is coming into your hearts to grow that magnificence, to dissolve the debris that has kept you from knowing the truth that you are a co-creator. The minute you come out of the dark, you can't imagine the light that can be seen from far away off your planet. The light that comes from each person who awakens. It's fantastical. It's beautiful. And this is all yours to co-create, and thus helping the universe expand. Now, the interesting thing I want to tell you that's so important to hear is this light is transmissible. Now it is transmissible. What do I mean by that? The light is now integrated enough in so many of you that it is turned on your DNA. It is turned on your cosmic knowledge.
Welcome back, Julie.
It is turned on your phone, as so many of all of you are phones to the universal switchboard. And so this light that you are downloading, this light that is really downloading so that it can stimulate the truth of you, the truth of you. And so you can become this more and more light. And as you do this, you can transmit it to all other humans. And so it is different. You know, when you have higher guides come in, or higher channeled beings come in, or God's source itself coming in, but it has to be through the humans, that it is transmissible. And now the humans have graduated to a point where when the light comes in, it is contagious, it is infectious, it is going to be an outbreak of light on your planet like it's never been before. This outbreak of light, you can walk along the streets, dearest Alan, you can walk on your streets with this magnificent light pouring out of you, and everybody that you come across feels the infectiousness of your light. They may not register it as that, but they will feel your light. And if they have their dial turned up a bit, they will begin to receive it. And that light they receive from you awakens that light of magnificence inside of them until they grow this light and become those who transmit it to others. And this is how the wave of ascension happens. You might think, how do you, one person, possibly help the earth? But what you have to say instead, I am that person who can turn on my magnificence. And in doing that, now this light is being made to be transmissible. There will be a new epidemic on this planet that is of the light, in a good way. It is the outbreak of the manifestation of the magnificence of the human being. The soul comes alive, the heart leads the way. And oh, what I say to you in the next few months, watch for the miracles to appear, because in the next few months you will see miracles. You will see miracles in war zones. You will see miracles in your backyard. You will see miracles of your own healing. This is coming into the planet. Just raise your vibration so that your vibration can resonate with this beautiful light that you are being bestowed. Really, all it is a light switch turning something on within you. But you are blessed on earth now to be in the time of ascension. So this light that comes in is fuel to create from the soul and the heart. So someone says, what are we to do? And I say to you, that outer flow that you live with, all of the outer things coming into you, all your cell phones. I don't think cell phones are really for the cells of your body, but okay. So all of this incoming traffic, as soon as you begin to say no more incoming traffic, I am the one that will create the world. I am the sole creator. I will no longer be a self-responder to everything that's going on here, because what's going on out there has not done the earth well. And so you have to realize, if you want to, that you are the sole creator of the new reality, and you have everything you absolutely need. So I say to you, look for the miracles. Be the miracle. Be that miracle of magnificence that now is transmissible to all those you come in contact with. You don't have to say a word. This is how powerful not only the light coming in is, but your own light that is being lit up. Because humans have been so diminished by so many programs to feel inadequate, to have fear, to have struggle, to have separation. That time is ending. There is a new window for Earth, and I am telling you, it is the most beautiful thing. And here tonight, I see the truth that it is now happening on Earth. So be it, so it is.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. A lot of applause. Someone asked about a timeline, but I think you're saying the timeline is up to us. And
the timeline is happening right now. See, if you look to the future, look to the past, look over there. The problem is you delay the timeline. Don't be looking anywhere, but the truth that the timeline is happening right now. If you take that seriously about who you are and start to become it, you will be amazed how many humans across the planet right now are becoming it. And that becoming is transmissible, and it starts to create a wave. So I would say you are in the ascension right now. Don't look to the outer world right now yet to see the results of that, although you will see miracles.
I feel this, Scott. Do you feel this in your body, Scott? Because I'm feeling the vibration. You're muted, Scott. Scott, unmute. No, that's okay.
All three of the beings that are with us tonight are clear channels. I'm so impressed with Jessica and Marilyn, and of course, already a big fan of Vok. Marilyn, and Zazar, I'm so appreciating your very beautiful enthusiasm. There's a real optimism, which we need. That optimistic vision and view is beautiful, and that you're encouraging us to really be fully present, not to be waiting for the future, but to really in present time know that the Great Awakening is happening, that our consciousness does make a difference. So I'm appreciating that very much. I want to read a couple of comments and questions from our audience. Ayada writes, I feel incredible after listening to Zazar. Totally resonate with the message. It is congruent with the sensations I've been getting. Dia writes, Marilyn, everything you are saying resonates and inspires. Eleanor Joy writes, Ian and I are really appreciating these two channels. Sylvia sending blessings. Susan says, so be it, so it is. Sylvia is pointing out about the animals, the trees, the winged ones, even the stones, that the radiance percolates through all. We're not getting questions, we're just getting appreciation.
Well, this last one is a question.
Yeah, go ahead and read it. Go ahead.
How much of human evolution is fixed and predetermined, and how much is still dependent on shifting timelines and collecting choices for better or worse that may lead to regress and descent into violence and darkness? So, Bess, how much is set and how much can we change the timelines? I think the question is.
You already are changing the timelines. Let me tell you this. There is something, universal law called free will. The beauty of free will is Source bestows upon the material life forms free will so they can begin to decide for themselves which timeline to be on and how to awaken and how to realize the truth of who they are. And so you have free will to do this. This is all up to you. Don't believe this is not up to you. Those are the old programs. This is up to you. And you are blooming. And I see the sprouts in so many of your hearts, the sprouts of the lighted way. And you can become one of the lighted ones. Here's what I want to also say. I know it is very difficult on earth right now. And as much as you can, stay out of the darkness, stay out of the dark news, because there are those on earth right now who are the lighted ones, who are human, who are holding steady with only the light. And as you hold steady with the light, the outpouring of it, this is light technology, actually dissolves that which is what is so scary for you. It dissolves it, but it has to come through the human. It can't come through any other higher being, has to come through the human. And so I say to you, you determine the timeline. It is time for you to realize you can take your sovereignty back. You can take that anything that is not in your highest good. You can begin to say, no, I am not going to do that. I am going to be an inner discoverer of all that I am. And then I will let that flow out and know that as it flows out, everything out here will begin to change. You are the bestower of the new reality. It is time. It is happening. Know this. And for some of you, you can be the lighted ones who hold steady in the light, which is probably the hardest job on your planet because there is so much incoming traffic that is difficult. But you can realize that you are bringing in this steady light that will help bring miracles of healing to all of the human race. And the other thing someone mentioned about the trees and the nature, I tell you this, nature, Earth is already in her fifth dimensional self. Anything in nature, you take a walk in nature, the breeze on your face, the birds who sing, they are all singing to you to help realign you. The crickets are helping to balance you. So much on your planet is helping to what? Help the humans know their beauty, their ability to love and be in unity, not just with each other, but with the animals and the trees and the waters. And all of this is coming to be. It's a step ahead of the humans. So know that when you lose faith, take a walk in your nature, because nature is directly connected. You might say nature is the one phone that is never disconnected and never runs out of the batteries. Mm-hmm. And so now you can all learn to be the phone that has direct access to the higher wisdom so that you can bring above to below.
I'm so appreciating this. And we usually end at 8 o'clock and we still have to go to Vox.
Oh, yeah. I just want to say, Scott, this is epidemic, what she said, and I'm feeling that. And we are the projectors. That's what I got. We can actually walk. I mean, we always thought that, but we can actually walk down the street and project light and love. I mean,
this is exactly right, Alan. You do this already. And you cannot believe. See, we can see, and I know we have to go, but we can see from where we sit how you do that and what it looks like. And the diamond light that is dispersed, and we watch it turn up someone else into their light. Just like, darkness can do that to each other, but we can see this. You have to go on blind faith that this is true. All I say to you is for 1 month, live as much as you can in the high vibration of light. And then you see how you feel in your frequency state.
Thank you.
I do want to let people know how they can get more of Marilyn. And there's 2 things I want to point them to. First off is her website. And the website is theshift.rocks. I've never seen the rocks as a extension.
The Shift rocks, yes.
Theshift.rocks. What a great website.
We found it when we made the website, and we've never seen it ever since. So,
Wow. So it's kind of like just for you.
It feels like that.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well, definitely go to the shift.rocks. You can, again, read more. Definitely always register, enter this amazing, beautiful world of Zazar and Marilyn. And then I also want to point out your YouTube, you did a full, longer YouTube. So if you go to New Realities, by now
Right.
everybody should be subscribing to New
I'll
Realities.
put that in the chat too. Also want to say Marilyn's going to be at the Conscious Life Expo in LA.
Okay, I'll be there, of course.
And she's also doing a special retreat in Sedona. I have that flyer somewhere. I'll put it up there. I'll send that to you.
February 23rd and February 24th, we'll be in Sedona for a month. We're going to have this wonderful workshop Friday night and Saturday, and then Saturday night we'll go out under the stars again. Alan.
Here we go. That's it right there. You see that? There, that's her. That's in Sedona. So yeah, we're gonna have a great time because we saw incredible ships, Scott. You should have been there. We saw a line of ships that just drove by us. I mean, so
well, Marilyn, right now I want to schedule because I'll be at the Conscious Life Expo. We'll be doing the Awakening World from the Expo, just like Alan and I did 2 weeks ago from the Stairway to the Stars. So Marilyn, I look forward to meeting you in person, and please come be on the Awakening World at Conscious Life Expo in February.
Awesome. I will be there, Scott.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your beautiful service. Thank you.
Thank you, and all the people who work with you, Marilyn. Diane.
Yes, Diane and Jen are right here.
She has an incredible team, Scott. They are so supportive, and they form a bubble of love, the three of them.
And they also have beautiful services as well. We have a big sanctuary where we do retreats and workshops. Just amazing.
They have a beautiful sanctuary in upstate New York. We'll let people know about that on upcoming shows. Maybe we'll have all these people back sometime.
We've got to. Absolutely. I would love that. I would love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Marilyn, thank you so much.
Scott, thank you so much.
Now, tonight's show is going to go a little bit longer because we haven't even heard yet, I mean, briefly, but Vox is with us. And Vox, I want to just prepare people to really get ready for a transmission because, you know, Alan talked about, are you feeling it in your body? Yes. And I always feel it through my whole being when Vox is bringing through her transmissions. So Vox, just maybe share a little bit about what's about to happen and how we can best receive what you have to offer.
Yes, and thank you so much. Well, I am what the Elohim calls a transcendent bridge. And so I'm like a divine vessel that's capable of facilitating like altered states of awareness and consciousness above and beyond the normal or merely physical human experience. And so with that, Jessica was talking about, you know, it's like the flip of a switch. And it's really the same thing for me with kind of that flip of a switch. There's an open channel, and I feel that kind of bridging of the energy and frequencies and symbols and stuff that just comes flowing across that bridge into me and outwards to people that are listening, to participants. So through my voice, when I am singing, I actually see symbols that come out. But it's really about frequency resonance and vibration. And so when I'm singing, when you're listening and you're feeling and becoming aware of that vibration or the frequency that's coming from my song or my words, then it's actually altering you frequency wise on a cellular DNA level, down to like an atomic level. And it's also working with the crystalline aspects within the physical body. And so if you're well hydrated, you know, flowing through the blood, correct? Drink
lots of water.
Flowing through.
Drink lots of water, everybody.
Drink lots of water. I should too. So it's about uplifting, reorganizing your frequency to bring you in resonance with the truth of who you are. Bring you in resonance with your true kind of soul alignment. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, we're ready for the experience. Thank you, Vox.
All right. Okay. meçhure annari bire suron Dere kerem anne sure çutridyetrende de sura matroya gires Piccare stura ma troi e pezzetto tundere biglie ciuccio e caremo succo e scendere tutto e cappacciare stu somma trena e me che tu tristia e coppa tendere ma tu sciampare ma tu papparia che chiede tu sciampare Andire a kundera, cistatura, andure. we are complete.
I just want to give everybody a moment to integrate and come back into their bodies. Vox does have a wonderful offering that she provides. It's her website, and it's her English name, phyllisdouglas.com. And then you /Vox Angelus. So I'm going to put, of course, the link into the chat box. And here it is for you to look at. Evolutionary Grace, Vox Angelus, the voice of the angel. And it's true, we just experienced alchemical language, divinely encoded light codes of the Elohim. And I'd love to put in, I'll read any comments that have come in that people, Grace writes, wow. Susan Blue writes, aha to that. Vox, it really, I'm always speechless after I hear Experience You. I mean, it's hard for me to even host, and I've still got some announcements to make. Thank you for being, again, like our other two, like Marilyn and Jessica, just such a clear channel. What an amazing time on the planet for us to be able to have beautiful people in a human body, such high vibration as what you're doing and what you're providing for us, Vox. I'm just... Lord Chamberlain just wrote, oh good, here, thank you everybody, here come the comments because I'm speechless. Laura writes, transcendent and sublime, Vox. Oh, those were some of the words that came to me through you. Susan writes, yes, gratitude for all of our wonderful guests, including Vox. Ayada is having a similar experience to myself. She says, Vox, I'm almost speechless. The power coming through your transmission was overwhelming. Beautifully so. Thank you. DR writes, beautiful. Thank you. Eleanor Joy. And by the way, we're going to have a special moment with Eleanor Joy in a moment. So be prepared, Eleanor Joy. She writes, yes, Scott, an amazing time on the planet. Dia writes, a unique, profound journey within myself, meta gratitude and truth. Omashar writes, you are so beautiful, Vox, vibrating my body and mind to a higher frequency.
You know, Scott, some shows we talk and some shows are transmissions of light through Marilyn, Jessica, and Vox. It goes beyond words, the frequency that all of us here at the Global Peace Tribe are experiencing. So there are no words in a sense because we're embodying it. Yes.
Well, that's true. And I want to thank you, Alan, because this show happened tonight because of Alan. Alan and I were talking, I guess we were making plans for Stairway to the Stars. And he said, Scott, we've got to do a show on channeling. And he kept saying it to me. I think you said it 3 or 4 times before.
I was channeling that, Scott.
You were
Yeah.
channeling it, yeah. And we set the date. So
no, but I'm glad you did decide to do this because this tapping into the God divine consciousness is where the future of humanity is. All of us are channels, right, Marilyn? I mean,
Right. So right, Alan. So beautiful.
yeah.
And is it okay if I say something to Vox?
Yes.
please, please.
This is from Zazar Vox. There are signatures that come from very high realms that come down into the humans. You, when source breathed sound with the sacred designs embedded in the sound, that is how life form began. That signature of the breath of sound with sacred design, some humans are able to transcribe that signature of the very first breath. And Vox, hearing this, you are one of those very special humans that actually transcribes that signature through your voice for others to feel the very highness of that signature, to grow the light in the heart. I just wanted to tell you, just the other day in masterclass was talking about the sound, and some humans have this gift of transcribing this highest signature. And I bow to you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate hearing
Thank
that.
you.
That's beautiful.
Well, I bow to you, Marilyn. I bow to you, Vox. I bow to Jessica, who's finally gone to bed. She's in Italy, where it's the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And thank you, Alan. And Alan and I will be collaborating soon. We're going to do an end of the year prophecies show. So
Prophecies for 2024. We have a bunch of guests I'm lining up. I think it's going to be fantastic, Scott, because everybody wants to know the weather report. And like Cesar said, it's up to us though, too. It's up to us.
So I've got a few announcements, so stay around. And then we've got something very special that we're going to conclude tonight's show with. But again, thank you, Alan. Thank you, Vox. Thank you, Marilyn.
Thanks,
I want to
Scott.
first off just let people know what we've got coming up. This Saturday night, the Dreamers are coming back. You remember Piper Dellums? Well, she has the most amazing crew of people from all over the world, and we're going to be meeting more of the Dreamers and learn more about what they're creating. And another amazing sound healer will be with us, Dr. Ivy Hilton providing music, a new special musical guests, Mark and Kim. They're a beautiful couple playing. Carissa Ayers will be back playing music. It's going to be a very musical night on Saturday night. And then I want to really let everybody mark your calendars now, because 2 weeks from now, we've got a very, very special show coming up. Deborah Giusti will be hosting, and she was with Alan in Egypt. And Alan, it's going to be a special show with the Stargate Experience, Viviane Chavot, all the people that you were with. I hope you can join us that night.
Okay, I'm going to be traveling. I'm actually going to be in Mexico next week for the World UFO Congress. So let's see if I can make that. Yes. But that sounds like a great. We had an incredible time in Egypt. Vivian would go into a trance and she saw the ISIS, and she had so many visions in Egypt. I was standing next to her and she said, I just saw ISIS appear to me in the ISIS temple. And it's like, wow. And I got a little recording of her talking about that. So
did you take this picture of when the picture
no,
of Vivian in the foreground?
I didn't take that. No, that is actually a UFO over Vivian and Peter, I think. Something. Yeah, that is.
Yeah, it's Vivian and Peter. And as the picture was snapped, this incredible UFO over the pyramid. I mean,
yeah, that was.
So we're going to learn all about that amazing trip that you took, that you helped to organize.
Yes, I did.
2 weeks from now. And actually, next week, we're carrying a whole ET Galactic conference. Sylvain, who's creating the diplomacy mission with the Galactic family, is going to be doing a conference, and we're going to carry the whole thing as a special 3-hour Awakening World next Wednesday night. And then 2 weeks from now is Egypt.
I just want to say, Scott, I'm going to be in Mexico next week at this. Do you see this conference coming? No. Do you see that on your screen there? No.
We see it only half. We see half of it.
Sorry. Here, let me just there. Do you see that now?
Yeah, now we see it.
Okay. Yes. With Michio Kaku, Avi Loeb, and Jaime Maussan. It's called the World Ufology Conference in Mexico City. I'm speaking there and emceeing. It's a fantastic event. So if anyone's coming from Mexico, meet us there. And there's a lot of UFO
New Realities. Go to YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to New Realities.
Yes.
Go watch the entire YouTube with you and Marilyn. I know that a lot of our people are going to want to watch that.
Oh, yeah. I'll put that back in the chat. Thanks for listening, being open to this kind of show, Scott. And it's always fun. You know, the audience is what makes it. we're with people. We're not talking to people. We're talking with the Global Peace Tribe. That's my feeling. You know, they are with us. They're not an audience. They are as much a part of all of this, especially when you flash them and they're smiling, clapping, and dancing and hugging and singing. It's a family here. So
They are our family. Hey, you know, I almost forgot to show people that there's going to be a great retreat that is going to be taking place that Vox wanted us to let people know about. It's going to be January 20th and 21st, the Christing Initiations Yeshua. It's happening in Southern California, January 20th and 21st. And Vox, is there anything you want to share with people about this?
Yeah, actually, Yeshua, Jesus had come and said it was time really to assist the halo opening, which is referred to as the Christing. And so I will be doing a series of initiations over the 2 days to basically open up your halo and to bring into union your feminine and masculine aspects.
And again, if you go to phyllisdouglas.com, and you can find it from there. And Phyllis will definitely do another promotion for this when we get a little closer to it. And it looks wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Thank you again for blessing us with your presence. Well, you know, Alan was just talking about how we really are a family. And the person who really first got up and started moving and grooving and dancing, of course, is our beloved Eleanor Joy. And I'm putting the spotlight on Eleanor and her beloved Ian. And we've been tracking, and we knew Eleanor when she was single, and then she brought Ian into her world, and now into our world. And Eleanor, I know that you've got something very special that's about to take place. So why don't you tell our audience a little bit about that? Oh, you're muted, dear. Or we're not hearing you. You're not muted, but we're not hearing you. While she's
I have to get rid of this outside speaker. It doesn't work.
okay, we hear you now.
Yeah, so it's not an operation, it's just a procedure. It's an angiogram to check out what's going on with my heart and what's the next move going to be. And I feel very calm and very peaceful. We had a great drive down. We took our time, which is why we were late coming on the show. And very grateful to be here for this. And we're in a beautiful B&B near the hospital for heart patients. So thank you very much, Scott and everybody. I am so grateful to each and every one of you. Hi, Ayada. I see you there. And Sylvia and Omashar and Scott. Thank you.
What we're going to do is we're going to conclude this very special show tonight with all of us doing a little brief prayer for you. Omashar is going to play some soft music and then close us out with a song. But let's just all focus our energy on Eleanor Joy. And as you know, I believe I learned from Yogananda, the highest form of prayer is maximum grace. Maximum grace for our beloved Eleanor Joy. Maximum grace for her beautiful body, that body that inspires us, that we watch dancing every week through the Awakening World shows. Maximum grace for her beloved Ian, who's by her side, holding space for her. Maximum grace for you both. Oh, I love the fireworks going on behind you. Good job.
Who did that?
I don't know how you made that happen, but
I didn't.
Really? Who did that?
I didn't. Somebody else.
I have a feeling that maybe a little Omashar magic there. And speaking of Omashar magic, I'm going to turn it over to you, Maestro.
I give thanks for the warmth of our brother sun's rays. I give thanks to the creatures and the joy in their play. I give thanks for this moment upon this sweet earth. I give thanks to the love that called me into birth. I give thanks to Creator in whose arms do I lay. I give thanks. I give thanks for this country on whose shores I abide. I give thanks for the many blessed tears that I have cried. I give thanks for the flowers and the gentle spring rains. I give thanks for this life that runs through my veins. I give thanks for the mother by whose love I sustain. I give thanks. I give thanks. I give thanks for the creation of the global peace tribe. I give thanks for the people that tune in night after night. I give thanks for this moment as I look around the room and I see smiling faces as we all connect through Zoom. I give thanks for my new friends as we lift each other up. I give thanks. I give thanks for the dawning of a radiant light. I give thanks for the stars that illumine the night. I give thanks for the loved ones who praise my day. I give thanks for the stillness in our hearts as we pray. I give thanks to my Creator for all of my ways. Sing along. I give thanks. I give thanks. I give thanks. I give thanks.
Beautiful. I give thanks for each and every one of you. This beautiful, beautiful global peace tribe. Look at all these beautiful beings, these beautiful emanations of the one divine. God bless you, Eleanor Joy. Thank you, Omashar. Perfect song. Alan Steinfeld. Thank you, everybody. I look forward to, oh, and happy Thanksgiving. Happy Gratitude Week. And I will see all of you on Saturday night. Good night, everybody. Have a beautiful Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Scott.